Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing well, and we're going to look at what we took in class today, which is converting the decimals into fractions and also converting fractions into decimals. I'm sorry if the picture is a little bit dim, but what matters right now is seeing the numbers and seeing the whole screen, the smart word clearly. So the first thing here that we're going to talk about is converting decimals into fractions. Very quickly, just to remind you, if you remember, we said if you can read it, then you can simply convert it. And here are the first one. What I mean by reading it is not to say 0.7. Reading this is actually 7/10. So 7/10 as a fraction is just 7 over 10. All right, let's read the next one. Is this also 6/10? No, it is 6. Which place is this? Tenths, hundreds, thousands, we know. Everyone knows this, so it's 6 thousandths, which is 6 over 1,000. Thank you. The next one here, 12 hundredths, which is 12 over 100. You can pause the video and do the next one. I know that it's different than the others. You can return to the video after that and resume to check if it is this, if your answer is right or not. Here it is 4. Let's read it together. It's 4 9/100ths, which is 4. Oh, this is a mixed number, Mr. Ahmed. This is how we read a mixed number. It is 4 9/100ths. This is how we convert it. All right, this is all, not everything really about converting the decimals into fractions. Let's move to the next slide, which is here 0.25. What is it as a fraction? 0.25 as a fraction, 0.5, 0.125, 0.75, all these things. I know that some of you might say it's 25 hundredths, which is 25 over 100. Alright, I cannot say it's wrong, but I'm going to remind you of something that we agreed on in class today. I cannot say that 5, some of you might say it's 5/10ths, which is 5 over 10. Still can't say that this is wrong. But guys, I need you to know something. That 0.25, once you see it, just remember that it is a quarter. And 0.5 is just a half. 0.125, or which is 125 thousandths, is 1 over 8. 0.75 or 75 hundredths is 3/4. So you need to memorize this. You need to know that just a quarter is the same as 0.25, a half is the same as 0.5, 1/8 is the same as 125 thousandths, and 75 hundredths is the same as 3/4. All right, now I'm going to move on to the next slide, which is converting from fractions into decimals. So the first 4 fractions here, we've just already done that. A half, we all know, mister, that it is 0.5. And the quarter is exactly the 3/4. You can pause, guys. You always can pause the video and then resume the video to check if your answer is correct. 3/4, 0.75, 1/8, 125 thousandths. 20 over 40. Oh, mister, we didn't take this. Come on, don't you know this? It's a half. 20 is the half of 40. It's exactly as if it's 1 over 2 after simplifying it So it's just a half. 7 over 8. 1 second, mister. I know that 1/8 is 0.125. So 7/8 is actually 125 thousandths. 7 times. This is what it means. After multiplying this, let's do it together. Here's going to be 35. Here's 14 and 3 is 17. Correctly 1. 7 and 1 is 7 and times 1 is 7 and 1 is 8. That's it. So 7/8 is 0.875. And moving on to the next slide. convert the following fractions into decimals. Now it is different. Now the denominator is 110 or 1000. It's 5 what? Now it all also depends on the same exactly like the decimals, reading the fraction. How can we read the fraction? 5 hundredths. It means 5 in the hundredths place. 5 in the hundredths place. Exactly as a decimal, 7 tenths. We learned, guys, you guys mastered how to read this, like knowing that this is 7 tenths, this is 5 hundredths, and so on. So reading this properly is going to make it so easy. 5 hundredths, 7 tenths, 16 thousandths. You're just going to find that always the 6 is in the thousandths place. The 7 is in the tenth place. The 5 is in the hundredths place, and so on. What, mister, if we have here another scenario? Here I know already what these fractions. I know what their equivalents, so that's fine. And I know how to handle fractions that have denominators of 10, 100, 1,000. But what if it's none of them? If it's like 3 over 5 or 4 over 5, it's not a fraction that I already know, and at the same time, it's not 10 or 100 or 1,000 here in the denominator, but I can make the denominator a 10 or 100 or 1,000. But the easiest one is to make it a 10. Multiplying this by 2, multiplying this by 2, 6 over 10. 6 tenths, which is 0.6. Multiplying this by 2, multiplying this by 2, 8 over 10, which is 8 tenths, 0.8. Moving on to the next slide. Round the following into the nearest tenths. So here I have this number. I need to round it to the nearest tenths. Just reminding you, we took this before many times. Just underlining the tenths. Look at the digit after it. Is it a strong number or a weak number? Strong numbers start from 5 and up. Weak numbers are smaller than 5. So 4 is a weak number, not a strong number. So it gives you the 7, nothing. The 7 stays the same. Everything before, just bring it down, stays the same. Everything after it becomes 0. But if I write zeros here, mister, they want me to round to the nearest tenth. Rounding it to the nearest tenth, mister. Now we're making it thousands. So you said, mister, before that this would be wrong. And yes, they will consider it wrong. Unfortunately, you're going to take a 0 for this answer. Rounding this to the nearest tenth is just a 2.7. Same thing here, rounding this to the nearest tenth. I want to change this number. Actually, I want to make it a strong number. So let me change the color and make this, for example, 7. Alright, so here, you can do it, guys, and then resume to check if your answer is correct. Rounding to the nearest tenths, look at the digit after it, it's 7. Strong number gives it 1. This becomes 7. Everything before it stays the same. Everything after it, Mr. E said it's going to be wrong. They want to the nearest tenth is just a 3.7. Thank you. That's it. This is just, guys, to remind you that 1/3, because it came in one of the checkpoint tasks and asked them, what is the fraction that is equivalent to 0.333333? So just 1/3 has endless 3's. And 2/3 is 0.66666. If you remember, we proved this in class by dividing 1 by 3. We did this in class today, which is 1.0 divided by 3. And we find that it's this answer. The 3 is never going to end. And also we try to divide it by 3, or you can try it on your own, which is the same as 2.0 divided by 3 is going to give you also 0.6 endless 6. I guess that's it. No. Oh yeah, they say they can ask you also, it happened that they asked you in one of the tasks, How do you know that 1 over 2 is 0.5? And many students actually, as I said to you in the lesson, I guess I explained this in year 6, in 6A, but I didn't explain in 6B. 1 over 2 is 0.5. How do you know this? They asked this question in the checkpoint test, and students just said, what? What do you mean, how do I know? I just know it. My teacher told me. They are looking for a proof. They're waiting for you to say, because 1 divided by 2 is a half. And then you can show them here, 1 divided by 2. 1 divided by 2, which is 1.0 divided by 2. Now it looks possible, but before, looks impossible, mister. Putting 0.0 here makes it possible. Putting the point up, 1 divided by 2 is 0, but 10 divided by 2 is 5. That's it. Leaving it this way will give you the full mark. Thank you so much, year 6, and see you tomorrow.